teams, just for now, so I can update the notes.
Oh. Well, one of the teams is going to be... actually, I should write down character names, too. Is going to be Trish and Carissa. And then the other team is going to be Spencer and Catherine and Steve. Yeah, I might jump back and forth. It's probably a little bit more engaging if we jump back and forth. Then everyone stays engaged, as opposed to half the people falling asleep while they're waiting for...
All right.
Gotcha.
Stream's running.
All right. So,
Spencer, what's your character's name? What's your character's name?
Yes, I do.
Think of seriously without the R.
Silly is, yeah.
Siliously.
Yeah.
What does Heels Above go by for short?
Heels.
Heels?
Or Bub. Either or. Heels
Bub.
or Bub.
Or Zeb?
No. No Zeb.
Okay. Anthea, which is Tia, and Heels.
Catherine, what's your character's name?
Oakrist.
Oh.
The Ripper.
Okra, right. Yeah.
Silly. And her brother Bruce Lee.
Maybe.
All right. Just want to have those written down so I don't panic. So I'm thinking that the next time we get together, we should call it Cold Open, for reasons that will become apparent once we start. I thought of that as I was falling asleep for my nap. I'm pretty proud of it.
Right.
All right, so it has been a few years since there was a group of heroes who was tearing around the world, stopping cults and stopping Tiamat from being reborn.
About 25 years now.
Yeah, about 25. Those heroes have almost faded into legend fairly quickly. You'd think that they would still, like they were fairly involved in the things that were happening around the world, but they haven't been heard from a lot lately. But our story for this campaign is going to open at the cave of our old friend Lethanon. Amarist, you are sitting in your room off to the side when you hear, not Amarist, no, Tia. I'll get that wrong for like 2 months, but then I'll figure it out. Tia, you are awoken from a nap you were taking after a successful hunt, and you hear the sound of laughter and sprinklings of music. Generally something that you're used to when you're at your home in Waterdeep, but out here in the caves where your father keeps his hoard, there aren't generally not a lot of guests. So as you're waking up in your small room, what would you like to do?
I guess I will get dressed in a way that's appropriate for company and wander in that direction quietly.
Okay. Would you like to describe your character as you're getting dressed?
Okay. Aramanthia is.
I may ask the rest of you to do this as well, so think.
Aramanthia is the child of a dragon and um,
A halfling,
a halfling, yeah.
a fairly famous one.
So she's qualified as a dragonborn, but she's technically not a dragonborn. She's practicing monk, but she's also been raised to spend time as a noble in Waterdeep, and she's got some blue scales around her face. She's a little short for dragonborn, but she's tall for a halfling, and spends half her year in the cave with her dad learning how to be a dragon, and half her year in Waterdeep with him learning how to be a noble. And not just be a noble, but fight with your brain sort of thing. He's got her finding things going wrong and working the system to manipulate things back into being normal again, or the way that work for them. Finding battles and not always fighting them with her fists, which she prefers to do, but so she's got a small hoard started of her own of items that she's taken from her victories, and they started at a young age as a young noble in Waterdeep, taking down bullies and stuff like that. But she prefers comfortable clothes. Everything has a little bit of nicety to it because she likes that. She likes the frilly fancy stuff, but she also likes to be able to move comfortably, and she has a bunch of lovely stuff in Waterdeep, but right here in the cave it's more practical stuff. So she'll dress in something comfortable and loose-fitting pants and a nice top and head on over that way.
So, dressed in clothes that allow for freedom of movement, you apply some of the skills that you have been being taught, moving silently as you head towards the section of the cave that your father uses for entertaining. He has long taught you to see past the glamours, so it is a fairly well-appointed cave, but you know that guests who arrive see a fairly sumptuous receiving room, like something straight out of a very wealthy lord's manor. And you see sort of reclined along the one side of the room in his true form is your father on the one side, and sitting next to him enjoying food is a person that you're passingly familiar with. She has a you're not sure where she got it from. It doesn't look like it's got carrying straps or anything, but she's got this large xylophone in front of her, and she is she's playing little tunes on it, and sort of as she tells jokes, she's like doing shots to emphasize her points. It looks like they're quite enjoying each other's company. And as you stand and listen for a while, you hear Amphisa say, "I did come to warn you of something. There has been chatter of various groups of drow on the move again. I know you had trouble with them a few years ago. Specifically, they're said to be looking for items of Loth's regalia. And fairly infamously, you have one of those. You have a staff, I believe." And there's this loud sort of rumble of laughter as Lethnanon sort of lifts his head up and he goes, Yes, I have a staff. It's a good staff. Things didn't go very well for them the last time they came looking for it. They're more than welcome to try again." And he sort of lays his head back down, and they They sort of drift off into other conversation with sort of the comfort of people who have had conversations for quite some time, which is a little perplexing to you because even in Waterdeep, when he's speaking with other nobles, there's this deference that verges on fear that people have when they're dealing with your father. And Amphisa seems not to have any of that. She seems quite comfortable. So as you're hearing that, what would you like to do?
Well, if this is a good friend of Dad's, maybe I should get some refreshments. You said she was eating or whatever, but maybe find something else to surprise her with, and you know,
Okay.
so good hostess, good graces thing. Try and find something from the pantry to bring her.
All right. As you head towards the back caves, towards the pantry, you can see in the larger pantry where there are 3 or 4 large carcasses of things that your father and you have hunted recently. You do see the cave that leads off deeper into the cavern, and generally it is spelled closed, but in this case it's not closed. You can see it's sort of open. You see some light from the back of the cavern, and you know that this tunnel that's off the back of the pantry leads into his primary hoard.
It's not somewhere I'm usually able to go without him.
Generally not. No, it's usually closed. If you wanted to go, he would take you, but
Sorry.
family stuff.
Well, it's kind of tempting. Should maybe go take a look.
Okay.
It's not usually open. Maybe I need to figure out if something's going on.
So as you walk through, you enter a series of caves. You know that they sort of lead off one direction or another, and this is sort of the portion of the room where he brings people when he wants to impress them. So a lot of his most impressive treasures are here. You see figurehead, large solid gold that probably came off some kind of ship. You see large piles of coin and barrels of diamonds. But featured prominently in the center of the room is this large pedestal. And on the pedestal is this staff that has sort of a webbing wound around it and a bunch of little spiders. They almost look like they're moving, and there's this air of malevolence that the whole pedestal gives off.
You said that there's diamonds and stuff in that room. Where exactly am I?
You're at a party in Waterdeep.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay.
You are probably not in an ancient blue dragon's cave. Otherwise, we'll need to roll you a new character fairly soon.
And this is a.
I said I tried.
Yeah, good try. I like it.
This is the staff that Enfisa had said there was a problem with.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I shouldn't put it with my stuff because no one would expect it to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any trappings or anything? Can I?
You look around and there doesn't seem to be.
All right. In my inventory, I have my door frame.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull that out and manipulate it so that it opens up, and I'm going to grab the staff and put it in there.
Yeah. So you set the door frame on the ground. You focus your will on it. It grows to the size of a normal door frame, and you drag the pillar into it. As you drag the pillar into the room, it's a fairly small cave. You know it fairly well. There are a half dozen claws and teeth from various animals. There are a few sort of trinkets. There's a scabbard belt that you took off somebody who was being abusing his position in Waterdeep. and there are a couple other trinkets from your adventures. As you drag the pillar into the room, though, you notice that there is an opening that wasn't in the room before.
An opening?
Yes. So where before it was just a cave, now it's a cave, and there's an opening that seems to lead off into the darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna go check that out.
As you walk down the tunnel, it leads to another cave of a similar size, and that is empty currently.
Can I put the pedestal in there?
You can. You drag the pedestal into the second room, and sort of situate it to the side in the middle.
Alright, sounds good. Okay, back to finding...
One?
Huh?
Side, middle?
Side.
Okay, you sort of set it off to the side, and it's interesting as you place it, it's almost like it focuses the light in that part of the room on itself. Seems fairly well displayed.
Alright. I'm gonna put my door frame back in my pocket and go find some sweets for Anfisa.
Okay. You wander out. You focus your will on your door frame. It shrinks back. You put it in your pouch. Find some of your favorite sweets. As you head back into the room with Anfisa and Lethanon. We're gonna take a quick break here, and we're going to switch over to Silicy. It is Foundation Day in Grenist. You have been part of the unofficial City Watch, working through the Church of Evna the Emerging. It's just sort of a side gig. You're looking for. You're still sort of looking for something to do, but today you've been asked to provide security at a party that's being held for Foundation Day outside of town. This is just to give you a general idea what the party looks like. It is, and I stole this from online, Zenpaku is the guy who made this. He's a fairly talented dude. And you can see that things are getting quite boisterous. There are people drinking. There are people playing carnival games. There are people selling food, and just a fairly large crowd. Would you like to describe your character as you wander through? Yeah. Spencer.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for the stream to catch up.
Oh, okay.
That's my picture right there.
Yeah.
Yonti pureblood, blue skin with some green scales, very humanoid, less monstrous looking, yellow eyes, tall, sturdy build, as a budding paladin would be, living a modest lifestyle.
I'm very sorry. I need like 3 or 4 more minutes. My bad. My dad needs to talk to me.
Yeah, let it rip.
I'll roll you in 5 or 10 here. No worries.
Former Golgari agent, likes to sneak through the city, knows the ins and outs. Could be quick, but can also be dangerous to get to the other side.
Yep. And that's one of the things that you've noticed about Grenist. Of all the places that you've been, this is the place where it's easiest for you to actually blend into a crowd. People don't tend to look twice at people of varying races and such, and those few who do are quickly straightened out by the majority of the rest of the people who are basically like, we don't do that here.
Roger.
So this is probably the place you felt the most welcomed in some time. Also, there's a giant cat attacking.
Rawr.
Poor
All right,
Oberus.
so as you're wandering through the festival grounds, what would you like to do?
I look for some food, something to travel, something to eat right away.
Stuff to eat right away is everywhere. There's weird dough confections, all kinds of strange meat. Looks like people have sort of taken out all the stops to try to help other people celebrate and to try to attract as much sort of economic activity towards themselves as they can. Are you thinking high end? Are you thinking low end?
Basic necessities: travel food, hard biscuits, maybe some waxed cheese for the road, and some soft bread, fresher cheese
Okay.
for now. Maybe some hard vegetables, something that'll
All right.
travel well.
Roll me a perception check. First roll, yay!
Oh, hey, that's showing everything. Funky.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Go back, Doak.
I'm gonna pop that out.
All right. So looking around, this is probably not the best place to shop for sort of travel goods, but you do find a couple of stalls that are using ingredients you think you could purchase the raw ingredients that would be good for traveling.
Okay.
And they sort of look at you strangely as you're asking. It's sort of different than the party mood that everybody else is in, but it's not a problem. How much were you thinking about buying?
I don't have much in the terms of currency, so 10 silver, like gold worth.
Okay. With 10 silver over the course of the day, as you're finding ingredients, you find enough to feed yourself very well today, and you end up with enough rations for about 12 days of travel.
Cool.
As you're wandering around, you are noticing that there is a fairly boisterous mood. There's few people who've had a little much to drink. They're almost immediately taken by 2 or 3 friends of theirs, sort of off to the side and directed to maybe go home for a while.
Rabble
It's
rousers are tossed.
It's a fairly well-behaved crowd. It's
Dig it.
yeah. As you're wandering around, I think we'll flip over to Oakrist.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh yeah.
I have a pet snake wrapped around my neck, sitting on my shoulders.
Okay.
Am I
And
with
the,
him? Can I steal his snake?
Very soon. I'll roll you in soon. We'll just flick quickly over to what? Oh, you're talking to the dog. Okay, good. All right, we'll just jump quickly over to a small little hut surrounded by gardens, and sitting in front of the hut is a tiefling with fairly majestic horns who seems to be gardening. I will be going to Orcrist very soon. As you're playing in your garden heels, what's going on for you?
I'm just trying to pick some extra fruits and veg for the Founders Day. As my mother is a founder, I need to be present, and begrudgingly I have agreed to do this. So I've said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I'm making sure that there's enough fresh fruits and veg for everybody, and I notice a few things in the garden that I want to pull, a couple of weeds here and there, so I might get distracted by my plants. But other than that, I'm fairly well dressed, and I'm slightly more chipper than I have been of the days of late. So I'm gathering them up, gathering all my foods into a basket, or a few baskets, and I am going to bring them over to where the main festivities are happening.
Okay. And over where the main festivities are happening, at one of the stages, we see a fiery-haired person of indeterminate gender standing on a stage, attempting to attract attention. Okrist, would you like to describe yourself?
Very tall thing with mostly gray skin. Very tall, very slender. Definitely trying to look like a pirate. Not necessarily succeeding all that well. The clothing is impeccable, but obviously made of very cheap fabric. And as they're standing there trying to attract a crowd, they start attempting to play a rhythm on some drums in front of them, which doesn't go very well because they clearly have no sense of rhythm.
So, trying to attract attention to the stage that Okrist is set up on, you see you can hear in the distance that competing with you're competing with other people. There are some people there who are quite talented. Midway through your pitch, trying to attract people to yourself, there's this strange racket, and as you lean out, you can see in the street over, there are 14 or 15 people with xylophones that weren't there like a minute ago, and they're putting on a pretty good musical number. But that's one of the hazards of being in Grenist, guerrilla xylophone concerts, which you made, and now I'm punishing you with. as you grudgingly enjoy the concert, drifting into the back of the crowd at this party that you weren't expecting is dressed in not quite rags, but they probably should have been some time ago. Dripper, would you like to describe your character?
Okay. Dripper is a kenku, of course, like bird-like creature. All black, almost looks like a raven or a crow or what have you. He looks like poor, like impossibly poor. Like all of his clothes are like ratty. They're all dark or what have you. The only thing of value that he looks to even have on him is his cloak, which you can tell that he keeps really good care of it and keeps it very, very, very pristine. He wears like a tight fitting, almost like a hood. All right, but he keeps the cloak's hood back, so almost like think like a plague mask kind of look to him, right? He's dirty. He looks dirty. He looks poor. He looks hungry. And I can't see anything in Roll20, so I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at here. I'm going off the stream.
Okay.
Just
sort of a generic carnival kind of scene.
Right. Okay. So where was everybody else compared to where I was?
It's actually your first day in Grenist. You came in on a boat yesterday, and you weren't aware of any kind of particular events happening. So as you've sort of wandered out from the alley in which you had hidden yourself, you have seen this large sort of gathering of people on the edge of town with all these temporary structures. So
Right.
You are approaching where the festival is being held.
Okay, perfect. I plan to start begging
Okay.
for food.
As you sit down, well, how are you begging?
I go near where the big crowd of people are,
Mhm.
and I pull out like cloth or something, and I just kind of sit there. You know, like I feel like my character is like used to the racial injustice and and all that other
Mhm.
stuff. I'm like a weird being in this town or whatever. I'm bird. I'm dirty. I just kind of
Mhm.
sit off to the side with my baking shit out and you know hope for some copper so I can go and eat.
Okay. Within about 45 seconds of you sort of getting situated, getting in that same sort of headspace that you're usually in, where you're ready to be completely ignored, um, you've noticed a strange thing. Uh, the people, as they walk by, are all making eye contact with you.
Okay, like I'm doing something weird.
Uh, a little bit. You get the feeling like, as you look around, you would expect at this type of a gathering there to be a lot more people, sort of like looking for attention, looking for a hand up, panhandling. Um, there don't seem to be. You seem to be almost your own kind of show, and
This
people
is
aren't quite sure what to make of it.
this is fantastic.
Hmm.
I'm the only one here. I'm the only one in the begging spot. That's good.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right then.
So, being slightly encouraged, you
I
make yourself look even more pitiful.
you know I okay. All right. I kind of judge the crowd here a little bit. All right. So
Yeah.
like are they all like looking at me or like are they like serious like do I have like a ring of people around me or anything like
It's
that?
just as people go by, they seem to acknowledge your existence in a way that you're not used to.
Well done.
Hmm?
They're
Well
not
done.
really stopping or anything, but they're definitely
I'm gonna do the
noticing that
same
you're
for
there,
Catherine,
and they're letting you know
because she's using XSplit.
that you've noticed that they've noticed you.
I want to jump up and start doing acrobatics and stuff, but I don't feel like my character is is that like ambitious or that
Proficient.
Well, and you're hungry and tired.
yeah, hungry,
It,
tired,
it's
yeah.
been it's been a rough. Well, you can't remember how long it's been rough for, but it's been rough for most of the time that you can remember.
I don't like boats
Uh,
either.
as you as you sit, within about 5 minutes, you've had three different people come by with hot food and just set it down in front of you. Um, they've all sort of wished you well as they've set food down. It's more food than you've seen in quite some time.
Okay, so instead of like completely scarfing it down, I have the wherewithal, the smarts to not to eat slowly, eat measured, and stuff like that. And anybody give me any money?
Uh, Not so far.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Uh,
I'll settle with
roll so roll me a performance check to see how effectively you're convincing people of your destituciosity. Oh wow.
I'll
Um.
take it.
Okay.
That's with no
Uh.
modifier.
So over the course of your time sitting, um, you've had people bring you food. You've had people sort of come over, um, and sort of ask you questions about how life is going. Um, right, like a fairly well-dressed gentleman comes over and he says, "Well, my friend, looks like you've seen better days." Um,
I say, seen better days.
right, right. Is there anything I can do to help?
Say help, and I nod my head.
Hmm.
Kangoos.
Um,
Damn kangoos.
Normally I would take more time to delve into this, but he reaches into his robes and he pulls out 5 gold and he hands it over to you, and he says, "Be blessed. If you need a place to stay tonight," and he points down the street to this fairly large building that's at the edge of town. And on the top of the building is this large golden statue of a woman draped in veils.
All right. I reply, "Stay tonight," and I nod my head.
He says, "Excellent."
Oh, I need a sec. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yep. All right. Tia, as you enter the room with the sweets, as you're wandering towards them, you hear sort of the end of the conversation that they're having, and Amphisa is saying, "It's not the only disturbing thing that's been happening. I also kind of wanted to let you know that a lot of my friends haven't been seen for some time. They're sort of noticed here and there as they're dashing about, but killing monsters and dispensing justice. But no one has seen Trim for quite some time. Last I heard, she had been on a boat that was headed north. We have people out looking, of course, but yeah. We're trying to be discreet because a disappearance of someone of her fame and wealth could cause a fairly serious disturbance in the economics of the coast here. And as you wander up with the treats, Amphisa turns to you with a huge smile on her face, waves a hand, and lifts the treats out of your hand and floats them towards herself with a little bit of a musical tinkle, and just begins eating. And she gives you a respectful nod. You've met her before, and she says, "Thank you, child."
You're welcome. I'm glad that they please you.
And then she turns back to conversation with Lethanon. This is news to you.
Yeah. I'll turn to Lethanon and bow my head slightly and say, if you don't mind, Father, I will leave you to your conversation, and I'll sort of back out of the room.
And he says, yes, I would say be safe, but most things around here should be avoiding you if they want safety. Will you be back anytime soon?
I don't know, Father. I plan to wander.
Excellent. You know how to reach me.
Yes.
Okay. And he turns back to his conversation, and we will jump back to our friend Dripper. Dripper, you've had strange conversations with people like that 4 or 5 times now. On the plus side, you've got about 30 gold in your pocket.
Marking that down.
Most of them have told you when you they've all sort of told you, yeah, if you need a place to stay, you should head over there. They've told you that outside of the doors of this building are these large floating crystals that you should touch one on the way in.
Okay, all right. I'll start making my way through the crowd through to the building that everybody's talking about.
Okay.
Trying my best, of course, to keep to myself, not to touch anybody. I don't want anybody to get my stink on them or what have you. Wow, sleeping in ditches, right?
Yep. Hey, life has not been kind to poor Dripper. All right, as you are headed towards the building, you minding your own business when all of a sudden a crowd of people rush up in front of you, and sort of bend down and start snapping strange things together. And all of a sudden, in front of you are 14 people with xylophones, and they begin a concert.
You
Okay.
missed the part where one of them yelled, "Stop!
Yeah.
Hammer time!"
Hammer time.
I kind of look around. I'm like, this is fucking weird. And I walk towards the building, kind of keeping my eye on the xylophone guys.
As the xylophone people are playing, you notice that there's a crowd gathering. It's getting close and tight. The closest place where it looks like you could maintain the type of distance that you want seems to be over by a stage.
Over by a stage, like in front of the xylophone people.
No, the xylophone people are set up like just in the middle of the street, and people
Oh,
are
okay.
gathering to enjoy the concert. It looks like there's a stage that's intended as an entertainment venue, but there's no one by it really. There's one person on the stage who's sort of forlornly hanging their shoulders and watching the concert. But it looks like if you went over in that direction, you would have some space.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna go. That's where I'm gonna go. I make myself look as small as possible and just kind of, whip through the crowd.
Okarist, you have managed to attract the first member of your audience. It's a birdman who's obviously trying not to be seen. But it's a step in the right direction. As the birdman approaches, what would you like to do?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. My computer's just doing something stupid. So, I'm going to lean down right at the end of the stage and very quietly say, "Hello, good sir. Perhaps some poetry?"
Okay, did she startle me when she did that at all?
Your call. You're trying to get away from people, and you ended up directly addressed by the person on the stage.
I'm like, some poetry in her voice, or
Yeah.
his voice? Her voice.
It's
His
a
voice? I don't-
Dead-on impersonation of their voice.
Their voice.
The person on the stage is strangely genderless.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I should have known that. Anyways. Yeah. Perfect imitation of your voice.
That's a little bit unsettling, but I have a new one. The ground watches you. And then there's some mumbling. I'm sorry. Tail is not in my nose. There's some grumbling and shuffling because I've decided that this is a visual poem.
Oh my gosh. Catherine.
And the title of the poem is "The Ground Watches You." Ah,
It's very deep.
Is it interesting?
I think she's about to recite it.
No. She says it's visual. We want to see it.
It's a visual poem, which requires.
Oh, okay.
So do I understand what she's trying to convey, right? Because remember, I can't speak, right? So,
Right.
If she's like speaking in some kind of sign language or something like that, and I get it, it would be awesome to me, right? Because
It's the language of dance. But it speaks to you. And as she begins this, the ground looks at you, routine that she has practiced. You're spellbound.
Okay,
Sicily. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
does she have like a place where people put money or whatever? You know, right? Like performance, and then you put money in the
She's
hat.
on a stage. You
Yeah.
could probably put something on the stage.
Okay, all right. I take out one of my ball bearings. They're really, really shiny, and I put it on the stage, and I nod my head at her.
Bink. Now, are you going to interrupt your performance, or are you going to wait till you're done your performance to pick up the ball bearing?
I'm gonna take a couple of seconds and blink that there is a ball bearing,
Yep.
and sort of just shake my head and get back to my strange contortions.
Okay.
Which finish with a, and there you have it.
And as you put your last foot down for the end, there you have it. Can I get you to roll a dexterity saving throw, please?
I know where you're going with this. Okay. As they're doing that, do I see them about to step down onto it?
You see, entranced by this communication in a form you're not used to. You see, as she's about to put her foot down, your ball bearing that you've placed has rolled directly under her foot, and she puts her foot down.
Do I have enough time to jump onto the stage, like
You
using acrobatics?
Roll acrobatics to see if you can stop her from landing completely on her face. Or
Or I join.
yeah, or join the dance. Or my wife suggested sleight of hand to see if you can help her balance by lowering her burdens. All right, you leap up on the stage as one foot slides out from this genderless character, and you do this slide, and it's this strange dance as you attempt to stop the person from hurting themselves. Sicily, you're watching the concert. Silici, sorry. You're watching the concert when you notice what seems to be an altercation on the stage. It looks like two people are fighting.
What? What can I see? How much did I observe? Did I see him put the ball bearing down?
You did not.
Okay,
you looked over, and there was a person who was doing some kind of dance number that you weren't terribly interested in on the stage, but now the one member of the audience that was watching that has jumped up and it has started pushing her around and wrestling.
All right, so I don't know the subject of the disagreement, but I see a disagreement. I look around to see if there's anybody else paying attention, and if
Everyone else seems to have been entranced by the Hammer Time recital.
Okay, so everybody's looking that direction. Do I see any sense of alarm or aghast, like people giving me the impression of
Everyone's
like
looking
that,
away.
just like that, with the cat and the claws in the back? Perfect. If I see any of that,
Everyone's looking away. You can see you're hearing this strange sort of strangled shout from the stage. It's two strangled shouts. They're almost identical.
Is the music still playing? Is there a chance
yes.
I could think this is part of the show?
No, it's the Hammer Time is set up in a square, and over on a stage with no one standing next to it is one performer who looks like they're being attacked.
I step
So
forward to
completely
intervene.
different. Everyone is looking towards the concert, and you're the only one who's noticed this altercation happening on stage.
I approach cautiously, head on a swivel to see if there's any guards coming.
You are the guards.
Perfect.
So as you approach, you see them sort of fall down in a heap on the ground. Okarist, you feel this upswelling of energy within you. This has happened before. Something about that dance and how it ended.
I'll be right back. Sorry, my bad.
And we'll flash over to Tia, you have left your father's cave. Where are you intending to go?
Well, I think I need to figure out what's going on with my mother because she's missing. But I can't do this myself. So I'm going to head to my brother because I know he's out there somewhere and I don't know who else to go to for help, especially if other people haven't been seen for a while and I'm not in a town where I'm got access to things and stuff. So I am guessing, I don't know for sure, that somewhere in my father's cave system is maybe a teleportation circle.
There are, but most accessible to you would be one of his wagons.
Okay, well then I'll do that. Or just a horse or something.
Mhm.
And I'm going to head towards Grannis. I don't know how far away I am from there, but my goal is to ask my brother for help.
Okay. So 2 or 3 days worth of wagons travel gets you to Grenist. You do notice that as you are approaching Grenist, there appear to be some temporary structures at the outskirts that are not typically there, but they don't really attract your attention. And you arrive at your brother's house just as he is stepping out of his front door with a large barrel filled with fruits. A large blue wagon pulls up in front of Heels' house, and out steps your sister.
Which we haven't actually communicated face to face before. Ever.
You're aware. You've seen pictures.
We've been in the same room, but at opposite ends, and never interacted with each other before. So I'm actually really shy about this moment.
I freeze and blink.
Beelzebub, I know this is unpredicted, and I'm sorry for the interruption. I have a problem and I didn't know where else to go to or who else to go to, and I'm hoping you will help me. I have just found out that our mother is missing, and she was headed up north, and no one knows what's going on. No one knows what happened to her. I feel like I need to go rescue her. I feel like something's wrong. I don't know how I know, I just know. So I came to you to ask if you would help me, please.
Well, there's a lot to take in here right now.
You need to push to talk.
Well, there's a lot to consider right now. I don't know how to take this. How did you find out Mom was missing?
An old friend of hers came to inform Lethanon.
What did Lethanon say about it?
I didn't really stick around to hear. He had heard that other people are looking, but they're being discreet. They didn't want it to affect our family's heritage and our business, the business.
Get it? I get it. Well, it's Founders Day here, and I have a commitment to Mother to represent us because that's what she asked of me. So I must continue and make my promise good. After that, however, I have a keen interest in finding her, so I would definitely want to help you. Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I'm bringing this to you.
As fear is rippling through him because he just lost his grandparents and he's not prepared to lose his mother, so he's like, at any length. Also, I assume you need a place to stay while you are here. I can offer accommodation here or at the keep or at Nectar, wherever you wish to be.
Thank you. That would be lovely.
And I will see if I can contact Raven while we are in here. For the last I heard, he was in town and for the Founders Day, and perhaps he may have some insight as to Mother's location.
That'd be lovely. If you don't mind, I will follow you around today. Do you need me to help carry stuff? I see you're carrying that basket.
If you'd like, there's 2 more inside. If you would like to pick, if you can help, that'd be great.
I will do that.
All right. Do you take one or both?
I'll try and take both of them.
All right. Roll me a strength check for that. So this part dragon person that you're pretty sure is a family member walks in, grabs both barrels, picks them up, sticks them one on each hip, and follows you down the street. As you're headed towards the part of the festival that's sort of given over to gifts, where people can come and just take. It's not a merchant type enterprise. This is anyone who's hungry can eat.
That's what we did on the first Founders Day. We have to do it now.
Yep. Walking down the street with this large barrel, you are you're getting tired. It's heavy, and you sort of, your head droops a little bit, and as you bring your head up, all of a sudden you're staring at someone's butt, and they have their back to you, and they're holding 2 sticks up in the air, and they say, "Stop! It's hammer time!" and begin playing on a xylophone that you would swear wasn't there 2 seconds ago.
I roll my eyes and say, "Not this again."
As
I
you
walk
begin
around the hammer time.
Yeah, as you walk around the hammer time, you see you hear very loud dogs. You see a strange, sort of martial-looking green person is striding towards a stage. On the stage is a pile of rags, bright red hair, and from the stage begins to spread this strange mist that begins to envelop the square that you are walking through. I would like you guys to please place yourselves in here amongst these tables. And that's for everybody. Oh, hopefully Steve comes back soon.
I'm following behind heels. Which,
Yep.
is this the stage here?
Hang on, just let me get back to it. I'm moving something.
I imagine that
Yeah,
we
this is
came in
the
from
stage here.
south, and I was headed more
Oh, I'm
a
on the
little
wrong
to the big
layer?
table north.
Good.
Yeah, I'm coming in behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the stage.
Oh, that's the stage. Okay.
That was not what I pointed to. I pointed to this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's do that one. That works better.
Cool. Yeah. So we're headed to here.
Ocarist is up on the stage, and so is Dripper.
How do I delete that now?
And there is as you guys are sort of headed that general direction, I'll move Cilici a little bit closer. You guys are avoiding xylophonists that have set up here. So as you're headed this general direction,
Okay.
a strange mist begins to envelop the stage, and I'll take perception checks from anyone who's interested in rolling one.
My apologies. My dad needed some help.
Okay, are
No
you good?
problem.
Sorry.
Are you good?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's good. Yeah.
Okay, so as you sort of tangled up with the character on stage, trying to stop them from falling, this strange, all of your nerves sort of started to tingle, and the stage that you're on is being enshrouded in mist.
In mist.
Yes, and you may roll a perception check if you'd like.
Sorry, I had to restart roll 20. There.
No worries.
Perception.
Okay. All right, Silici
Yes, sir.
and Dripper. As you sort of attempt to orient yourselves, Silici, you detect the presence of a creature,
Oh.
and Dripper, you see this large shadow sort of emerge from what you thought was a solid rock wall. And
Right
I
from
would
a rock
like,
wall? Woo.
yeah, there's something strange happening. And then I would like a initiative roll from people, please.
Was that in my neighborhood?
Sorry?
There was something strange. How many
And it
people?
don't look good. Who are you gonna call?
Birdman!
All right. Is there a way to make these silly tokens roll initiative? I don't think so. Oh, that's why. Maybe. All right. And because you guys rolled higher on your initiative orders, you guys get an ambush round. So, Silici, I think you're going first.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll for my creatures here. So what would you like to do? Oh, I've got it here. Dex plus 2.
I think the ice creature seems the most unnatural.
Okay. The wolf is strange looking as well. Like you've seen large wolves before. This one is shock white, and it looks very hungry. Yeah,
well,
I'm going to fix that in 2 seconds once I finish rolling. Okay. All right. Who am I missing? I don't have heals.
So do I get to make an
Oh,
attack?
I didn't select. I didn't select.
Are you
Sorry.
moving towards it?
Yeah, I took a step towards it.
2, 3, 4, and I don't have Ocarist either. All right, what did we get for rolls for them? Heals got a 9, and Ocarist got a 7.
So I'm passing a cup of fart, Phil.
You're casting Cup of Fart?
Yep.
Okay, and that's looking good there.
At the ice creature.
Okay, and what is the... Okay, con save?
I'm going to make the whole hand motion of cupping a fart and tossing it.
Yeah.
He's a puppy.
Plus 0, so that's just a straight roll. It succeeds. Your cloud of noxious-looking gas seems to hit the air near the creature and almost crystallize out of the air. Looks like this thing is quite cold. You would still have bonus action and movement.
Ooh. No, I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Okay, and Dripper, you may take a turn in the ambush round. So you've seen a large creature sort of emerge from the mist, and a smaller sort of flying ice creature.
Okay, all right. I put my hood up
Yep.
Okay, on my cloak. you see the bird guy kind of shimmer and shake, and it's almost like he's in two places at once, kind of thing. And so it's just dire wolf ice method.
Yeah.
Method. I only have one hand right now. I got the dog in my lap here.
Yeah. We're not
Okay.
complaining about that because of the cat ambush earlier.
And I'm gonna move towards the wolf
Okay.
to like there.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm gonna stab at it.
All right. Roll an attack. So with your cloak sort of shimmering, you duck down and around, clamber up the escarpment, and stab down at the creature. It manages to duck out of the way, and now we'll go back to the top of the turn order. Silici, your first attempt to attack this creature did not work. It is your turn.
I'm gonna try it again.
I didn't get
Okay.
a shot on the bonus round.
Nope, your perception check was too low. Oh, okay. That's a con save, and that was just straight. That
Yeah.
succeeds. Wow, you rolled really well on that. Your second attempt, you focus harder and push towards the creature, and it looks like it gets through its icy defenses and deals a significant amount of damage. You see that as it's hovering in the air, it sort of lands and sort of shakes itself. Looks like you hurt it. The
Ooh, yeah.
dire wolf will turn and snap at Dripper.
Disadvantage on his rolls.
Oh, because you have what is the cape again?
Cloak of Displacement.
Which casts which spell?
It gives them disadvantage on attacking me.
Right. And then if they hit, that's done for the round, right?
For the round, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure. One second.
Till the start of your next turn. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So it has disadvantage, which is going to be super handy. It's got a +5, so we're going to click on Dripper.
Cam crashed,
Disadvantage.
and I can't fucking restart it again without turning everything off.
Oh.
All right. It snaps at you. It absolutely eviscerates the sort of shadowy image of yourself that's next to you. You think if that had connected, it would have done some pretty serious damage. And I believe that's its turn. Yeah. That snaps at you and then heals. Your turn.
Looking at this thing, I'm going, I don't know. I've never seen one of these. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to use a cantrip, True Strike.
Okay. Target in range. On your next attack, you gain advantage on your first attack roll against that target. Okay. So which one are you pointing at?
This one. That one.
All right. So you will have advantage against this creature, so long as nothing hits you and makes you stop concentrating. We'll just put a pink dot on it to remember. Okay. And the ice method is to it braces itself, looks towards Silistri, and Silistri, I would like you to please make a dexterity saving throw. Nice. The creature exhales this large cloud of almost like mist, and you manage to get out of the way of most of it, but it is very cold. You can feel it drawing strength from your body. You take 3 points of cold damage.
Ouch.
And the creature is going to close into scratching range because it really doesn't like you right now. Ogreist, your turn.
Can I create a bonfire underneath the ice mephit dude?
So how create bonfire works is you make the bonfire and then you can throw it at a creature to do damage. So it's an
Oh.
attack roll, and if it hits, you do D8.
Okay, cool. Can I do that then?
Absolutely. Roll an attack roll.
I don't think that worked.
Create bonfire, isn't that a dex save? Straight up.
Oh, it is a dex save. You're
Yeah.
right. All right, 1d8.
And never mind, it did work.
Concentration.
All right, so you throw fire, and a large bonfire springs up close to where the creature is. We'll see how close when it makes its dex save. I think it's got a +3. Yeah.
Sarah would like you to see her hair, Catherine.
Oh, it fails. You light a bonfire directly underneath it. The fire springs up. It looks like the creature really did not like that. Something about fire doesn't work for creatures made out of solid ice. So there's chunks of steam coming out of the bonfire that you've created. And creature must also make a saving throw when it moves into the bonfire space for the first time or ends its turn there. Okay. Dripper, your turn. Oh! Our rogue has rolled a natural 20 on stealth. Appearing out of nowhere, the rogue reappears. And Dripper, it is your turn.
Perfect. Okay, I'm really disappointed that nobody moved beside the,
Yeah.
the
I'm
dial.
coming. Just give me a second.
You could hold your action until she gets close.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hold my action.
And you're holding, stabbing the thing once until there's somebody next to it.
Correct.
All right. Amaranthia.
All right. I'm going to step up here. That's across, right?
Yep. So you'll have advantage on your attack.
Uh-huh. And I am going to smack it with my quarterstaff at advantage.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, what did I do wrong?
I'm gonna have a look at your sheet.
You rolled so bad on that D20, it gave you a 0.
It's because she was carrying the 2 bundles of food.
I had, yeah, I gotta drop those 2 bundles of food first. I was going to say that, and then I forgot because the kids distracted me. I'm gonna set down the barrels and then run over here. But I don't know why I didn't attack.
It looks like there's a value qualifier in there, a greater than 20, that needs to be taken out. Otherwise, I see that you rolled a 12 plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so is the 2060 the problem?
Oh, mouse over her roll,
Yeah.
and I see 1d20 CS greater than 20 plus dex. Well, what's the CS greater than 20? It should just be a d20 plus your dex. Or in case of a quarterstaff, wouldn't that be a strength roll?
Auto roll.
Not for monk.
Not for a rogue
Not for a monk. Finesse
or a
weapon.
monk.
Why do I see Amaranthia? Is it the monk?
I tried to roll it too
Yeah.
to see what was
Oh,
going on.
She's a monk.
Oh, jeez, I was thinking of the bard for some silly reason.
So, Spencer, have a quick look at the. Oh, that's a dart.
I'm quickly running downstairs.
Quarterstaff.
I'll be right back.
Let me have a look at it.
Do you want anything?
Yeah. Could you grab me a beer? If
Yeah,
there's one,
yeah.
I think they're in the
2
door
seconds
fridge.
here.
Okay.
I don't have
Some
edit
chips?
access.
Chips?
Yeah, please. And can I give you my coffee mug?
There.
Yep.
Thanks. Oh. I can't do that in Discord right now. It messes up the overlay.
Oh, okay.
because everything's on XY
Wireless
coordinates.
stop
So
stream. Okay.
we can take a pause
So-
here because my VCAM software crashed.
Okay.
And we can tune that out.
Yeah. Let me just give you access so you can have a look at it.
Okay,
We can definitely take a 5-minute break if people need washroom breaks and stuff.
that'd be great. I'm gonna restart the stream.
Okay.
What was
So
it?
it's the custom proficiency that we had in there. That was messing with things, but it shouldn't. Proficiency bonus 3. Let's try that. Core. Quarterstaff. All right, it was the plus that you had in front of the 3 that was messing with it. So we can keep your custom proficiency bonus for your thing. All right, we have
Alright.
fixed it. Do you want to delete the one-handed staff because you're never going to use your quarterstaff one-handed?
Alright.
All right, and punch kick works too? Yeah. A couple minutes in our break.
For a break? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the girls aren't back yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta-
thinking we'll be back in 5. Does that work for you guys?
Yep, sounds good. I'll hit the BRB scene.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a drink.
In the meantime, hey, when you come back, fire up. Oh, taking 5. All right. Yeah, there was an extra plus symbol in there. The weekend heat routine.
Pardon?
The weekend heat routine.
Yeah.
It was 17, so I touched it to 18 and a half.
My feet are a little chilly.
Mine are pretty toasty, but I'm wearing the slippers you bought me.
Fair enough.
So I fired up the overlay on the Twitch stream. You got to view it in a web browser. The Twitch app doesn't allow the extension.
Hey Steve, you need a flow be like George Clooney.
A what?
A Flowbee. That's what he uses to style his hair.
That's the vacuum clipper, right?
Yeah. Seriously, that's what he has been using.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Waiting on Trish and Catherine.
Oh. All of a sudden, your office got real bright. I know your window's not that small.
I know Spencer gets this one.
I just saw what was on the coffee table. Steve's setting up auditions.
Oh, what are you guys eating?
Chips and dip.
Oh, I want some.
French onion dip and riffle chips.
I'll be right back.
Then when he sits down, I'm going to hold up my frosty mug of beer.
That is what I think it is.
Casting couch for porno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At first glance, I was like, oh, you put a couch in his office. And I was like, those blinds are different. Then I look at the table and I see the camera.
There's no Oilers jersey.
What was I looking for?
Oh, on the overlay, if you go to the Twitch stream, you'll see that the...
I would look downstairs next to the couch
Oh, you're not talking to me.
in our room.
You're talking to your kids.
In both girls' rooms.
Oh, my push to talk wasn't working.
Then I would give up. Huh. That's weird.
When you said trim was missing, my heart sank.
We needed a really good reason to get Heels out of the house.
Nailed it!
I think we nailed it, yeah. You were like, Heels doesn't want to go anywhere. I'm like, I've got this.
Yeah, literally. Was not prepared for that. My heart went into my stomach and I'm like, No. I won't
Yeah.
even delete her out of D&D Beyond.
I don't think you should. Yeah, when we were talking about this, and you were like, "Oh, he's really worried because he's just lost his grandparents." I was like, and figuratively lost his mom. Literally, slightly more literally lost than.
Mm-hmm. It's a temporary loss, not a permanent loss. Maybe.
As far as we know.
I know, but you guys don't. What happened to Steve's office?
It's now a casting room for porno.
Yeah. What's up with the casting couch, man?
I figured it'd be funny.
Okay.
Now the question is do you try to get away with that at work?
I should try.
If you hide the camera on the desk, I think you could get away with it. Somebody.
Honestly, I didn't see what you guys saw, so.
It's okay. Phil will show you later. You might end up with another kid, though, so just be careful.
Yep. All right. So, yeah. Are you having trouble? No. It should be on the other one, the EU50, whatever, the one I'm on right now. 2EB6. Yeah. All right. So, Araminthia, looming out of the darkness comes this large wolf creature that has snapped at Dripper.
Alright,
And-
I am now going to try and quarterstaff it. That's
All right.
better.
So you swing around, smash the wolf with your quarterstaff. Would you like to follow that up with a kick or punch
yes,
of some kind?
please. Do I get that at first level? I was just... Yes, armored strike.
Yep. You don't have any key points yet, but you can offhand attack. So you see the bard come, do a spin with her staff, clock the thing upside the head, and then spin around, kick it in the belly. Looks like you have done some pretty serious damage to this creature.
The bark or the monk?
The monk. Yeah. It's been 2 years working with the other characters. I'm a little confused. Silisi, your turn.
Wielding a warhammer, I take a swing at the ice creature.
All right. All right. With a swing of the warhammer, you smash this thing dead center, and it splinters into pieces. I need you to please roll a dex save.
Nice.
Excellent. As it explodes into shards, some of them cut your skin. You take 1 point of slashing damage. And the creature is no more.
Is it my turn now? I held my action.
Almost. Oh, you held your action. Yes. Do your held action, please. With advantage
Okay.
for wolf stabbing. Thank you for the
While
reminder.
it's distracted by getting beat with the stick, I stab it with my knife, right onto its back.
Yep.
He stabs at it with his steely
Nice.
knives.
You've got the baked-in sneak going.
It took me a little bit to design, but yes, I got it.
Why are there 2 mods on it? If you go over the damage die,
1 die 4, plus
Yeah.
4 for my dex. Hey, why is
Yep.
there an extra +1?
There's 2. That's what I'm saying. All right, so you deal 14 damage. I'll leave you to work on that. Woo. This creature is looking pretty rough. Silici, you still had a bonus action and movement.
I will tuck up to the north side of the wolf.
Okay.
There we go.
The wolf
Found it.
is beautiful. All right, and the wolf has been stabbed by both sides. So 1 and 2 are Amaranthia, 3, 4 are Dripper. All right, it turns and snaps at Amaranthia. And that's just a straight attack. Tia. Right. Okay. And that's likely to put her on the ground. This thing hits really hard. 10 points of damage as the wolf snaps towards Tia. Not on the ground. Wow. Tia has 1 hit point left. And I need a strength saving throw, please. But I used the first one anyhow. So the wolf snaps into you and tries to whip you around, but you manage to get out of its jaw before it flips you onto the ground. And it is now Heels Above Stern.
Looking at the wolf and knowing that I could attack it, but then seeing my party member not doing so great, I saunter up and I touch her and I cast Cure Wounds.
Wow. You're back to full. all of your wounds knit closed. The wolf looks really frustrated.
Thank you, brother.
Bonus action?
I
I don't think you have anything.
No,
All right.
I've moved. I've bonus. Oh, can I finish my movement? I want to just step over.
Yeah.
To here, so that way there's, you know.
Yeah, there can be advantage. You guys can gank the wolf together. You are all of a sudden moving through furniture in the mist, so roll me a dex save.
Mm-hmm.
You bang your shin on one of the chairs, and it hurts. But you're fine. Otherwise, Ocarist.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the wolf, and I'm gonna try using the Wand of Whimsy, because I don't know if I set it up properly, so it's like a test run.
Let's see. It should not have the plus to charisma.
Thank you.
So if you can take that off. And then you need to say how many charges you're using. One charge is 3 bubbles. It has 7 charges. You can use up to 7. If you use all 7 charges, then you have to roll to see if it breaks.
But 2 charges is 4 bubbles, right?
Yeah. Each extra charge is an extra bubble.
Sorry, I'm looking at the thingy to how to set it up. So I'll just use it the once now, since I'm getting this sorted.
It saves. Oh no, there's no save. Don't put a save on there. It's a magic missile wand. So it takes. Oh, you rolled max damage. It takes 15 points of damage as these 3 bubbles float towards the wolf and splash against it. Do you want to describe what happens as the wolf begins to melt?
It's covered in this odd, viscous, glowing, shimmering goop that just sort of makes things fall off it with a plop and a hiss sound.
It starts melting horribly, chunks of it falling onto the snow. as it bleeds, and you see sort of steam rise as its hot blood hits the snow, and you're like, wait, snow? And as each of you sort of shifts your feet a little bit, you hear crunching. And as the fog clears, you find yourselves standing next to a frozen lake. The wind is howling. There's a full blizzard. I'm just going to give you guys this as a visual. The lake is much larger than this. And there is nothing around other than in the distance you can see some trees.
Nope. Because
You're not
there's
getting
no light.
anything in the picture because you're going to need to drag yourselves in.
What side are we coming in on?
Wherever you want.
I can't seem to
Probably
drag
all.
myself onto the. Oh, there we go.
There you go. And 2 seconds. You are standing in a howling blizzard. There is a gross melting wolf body over here amongst you guys that you have just killed. It is dark, like it's midnight. And you're unsure where you are. Who else do I need to pull out? I'm missing somebody. Do I have Ocarist? No, Ocarist is not out.
I am. I'm just on the other
You
side
are?
of the screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had you guys all gathered around. All right, you are standing at the edge of a fairly large lake. The ice extends as far as you can see into the distance, which isn't incredibly far because of the blowing snow. You think in the distance you may see some trees. It is very cold. It is very dark.
Are our buckets here? The barrels of vegetables and fruit?
Let's find out what came through. Below 50. Below 20, all 3 buckets of fruit came with you. Below 50, 2 of them did. Below 75, 1 of them did. You have 2 large buckets of fruit with you. Barrels.
I am quietly, but visually agitated.
And freezing. It is very cold. You're starting to feel tingling in your fingertips. Most of you are not dressed for this weather.
Whoa.
And we can't see anything in any direction other than this lake right in front of us?
To the east of you, you think you might see some strange shadows that might be some kind of forest.
Let's go east. Let's go east.
Head for the trees.
All right.
Warmer there? Maybe start a fire?
As you head eastwards, you do
Nah,
find a fairly sparse-looking forest. It looks like this forest has been actively combed over for wood.
Well, if it's been actively combed over, that means there should be someone here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. But priority 1 right now is don't freeze to death. So you guys have found a forest. What would you like to do?
I make like motions like chop down tree.
Once we get, like, maybe we should make some lean-tos or something, or add lean-to and a fire. And
What
then
is
maybe
this?
That is an old broken piece of a building. It's not technically on the map that you're on currently. This is just a visual reference. There's nothing around.
We ought to head for the trees.
Yeah. Once we get to the tree line and start doing that, does anyone know how to skin animals? Maybe someone should go back for that wolf belt.
I can try.
That'd be a survival.
Yeah, either the meat or the pelts. Both things could be useful at this moment. That's all we have around to see.
I have a proficiency in survival.
I rolled nature at 17, if that helps.
I'll help.
Okay. Nice.
How about you just
All right.
move?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do that. I'll start cutting down sticks for lean-to. I know a little bit about quarterstaff length. Cut,
Yeah.
those sort of things.
So your monk starts attacking trees, breaking boards. Heelzebub and Silisi go over to the wolf and begin sort of carving away sections that are still sort of bubbling and seething with the magical acid. You manage to get some meat. You have the feeling you'll probably get 1 or 2 meals out of it if you want to eat it. And you rescue a fairly significant amount of fur. This was a large creature. And you gather up a bunch of wood. How are you starting the fire?
Very simply, I scrape a patch of ground clean, toss the sticks down, snap my fingers, and there is a lovely roaring blaze.
When you cast your spells, is it lyric poetry to cast them, or?
Yes.
What class are you?
At the moment, I'm a sorcerer, I'm also a wild mage, and I will be a bard later. I think I'm a bard. I'm not.
She was raised by bards, and she's convinced that that's where her magic comes from. But it's fairly chaotic, as you guys just witnessed. So when you start a fire, what does that sound like?
Dang it. A very sort of, you can tell there's supposed to be some sort of rhythm to it. It's not very rhythmic, but it's a flame from the center of my soul to warm the mind.
And you all look at her weirdly, and then she points at the ground, and there's this huge gout of fire. A lot of the ice and snow that was around the edge of this cleared patch of dirt is immediately vaporized. The wood that you guys had sort of piled, it's very green. It begins smoking immediately, but it catches, and all of a sudden, if you're close to the fire, you're warm. You also have large quantities of dripping, disgusting wolf fur.
I start to pick up sticks so we can make a rack so we can dry it out.
Okay.
Can
So you guys, go ahead.
Can I break the ice to wash off the
Help.
Fur?
yeah, the bloody side of the pelt?
Door. Okay. You head towards the lake. Give me a strength check. Silisi walks over towards the lake with the bloody pelt, looks down, punches, and you can see the ice sort of crackle and shatter a little bit. Sort of sweeps the broken shards of ice away, looks down in consternation, punches again. About 5 minutes later, bruised and bloody knuckles, you have broken a hole through about 4.5, 5 feet of ice, and you have reached some water. And you clean the pelts, but the thickness of this ice is impressive.
Wow. If it helps, athletics would add +2 to that.
Yeah. No, you rolled enough to get through it, but it's thick.
It's thick. Gotcha.
Do
All
you
right,
need your
so
hands
you
repaired?
clean a pelt. I don't think you took any damage. It was more of a repetitive smashing. You have a makeshift drying rack as you're trying to dry this off. As you're close to the fire, you are warm. If you get even 5 feet away, the blowing snow and the wind is very unpleasant. You are in the wilderness. It's dark.
I sit around the fire. I take up one of the gold coins there that the one dude gave me, and I start shining it. I'm a bird. I like shiny things. What do you want from me?
I look around and say, so what's everybody's name?
That's
Go.
a good question.
The bird goes, name. I go over to one of the trees that are close by. All right, that, Alchemist casted the spell, right? And things are melting around us, right?
Yep.
And I point to some of the water falling. And I point to the water falling. And
Rain?
I point to me. Point to the water.
Lovely to meet you, dropping.
Dropping.
Do I get the feeling that's not quite it?
Roll a perception check, but you'd have to roll a 1 to... an insight check. You'd have to roll a 1 to think that she got it. Yeah, it's not quite right.
Now, if I could only make the sound that Roll20 does, that...
Yeah. Boop.
No, that's not quite it. It's that drip sound. Now, can you make that sound?
I can make any sound.
Well,
character
okay,
can.
cool. Have the Kenku
just
do
gotta
that,
hear it.
and then I'd be like, "Oh, it's drip, not drop." Better see a doctor about that.
All these people complaining about COVID tests, obviously, have not had a real test.
Oh, jeez, yeah. They go digging for gold, don't they?
All right, so the Kenku has tried his best to introduce himself. No one else has.
Seriously? No. Take out the R. Call me Sillously.
Seriously.
Sill as in like windowsill. List.
I think I've seen you around Granist.
Oh, probably.
They call me Heels. But my full name,
Not medic. Sorry, that's too meta.
my full name is Beelzebub. Underbottle. Green bottle.
Yep.
I mimic what she says exactly in her voice.
Yeah. And Beelzebub is fairly well known. In the center of town, where everything is fairly developed, he has a plot of land with small houses on it, where all around are large houses and a garden, just in the middle of the city.
Yeah, small house, big garden.
Notable. Yeah.
My name is Aramanthia Underbow. Pleased to meet you.
I'm
She's the daughter of my mother.
Tiama, but you can call me Alchemist.
Pleased to meet you.
In
In the other voice.
Aramanthian's place. Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. Now, how do we get back? Because my plants need tending.
And I need to find my mother, and I don't know how to do that from here.
But
I clear my throat when you say my mother. I'm like,
Our mother, sorry.
Our mother, I say.
My goodness. Very closely related.
Heels above all of a sudden is picturing Yeah.
I'm still shining my coin.
Yeah. And knowing Trim, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
Could be
But-
a close relation. You don't know.
Dripper, how old are you? Tap how many times, how many years you are.
How many years I am, and I tap. I don't know what is it. They're what
4 or
60?
5.
Yeah. So I'm like what, like 6 years old or something like that, or whatever.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I tap my foot 6 times.
Which you guys would know for a Kenku is past the age of majority.
Was
20.
your mother named Trim?
Trim. Shake my head.
Good to
Okay.
know.
That was a rough Saturday night.
So as you're gathered around the fire, you sort of settle in, get to know each other, have some cooked wolf meat. What's your plan?
Stay
I
warm
think
and find
at
a
this point,
door.
survive the night.
I'm shining my coins. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Is anybody else hurt?
There are a couple people that are wounded, but I think I'm hearing the intention to take a long rest.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think we should just. It's cold. It's midnight. You said so. Let's just wait till the sun rises, and then we can try and find our bearings.
I
like that
offer-
idea.
I offer some of my shiny ball bearings to trade for some of the food.
We just feed you and tell you to keep the bearings.
If
Okay.
you find a good use for them later, we'll trust you to use them well.
I sleight of hand 2 of the ball bearings into the food baskets.
No one sees, but you notice obviously there are ball bearings in the baskets later.
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm biting into some fruit that's got a ball bearing in it.
In shifts,
Gonna break some
you
teeth.
guys you spend a really uncomfortable night. You're constantly feeding the fire.
I'll take the middle shift.
You have to roll over every once in a while because one side of you is hot and the other side is cold.
Do we shift in pairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I'd like to, when it was my turn, I'd like to scout around the area a little bit.
Okay.
Stealthily move around, and when I get cold, of course, come back to the,
Yeah,
come back to
and
the fire, keep the fire in sight, just to get a lay of the land to see what's around.
Yeah. You don't get very far from the fire when you're doing your scouting. You do manage to glean a little bit more information. The forest sort of extends off to the east, and to the west is sort of a blank, featureless plain. No, I was just trying to find the map for myself because I know where you guys are, and I can tell you some additional things. Oh, nice.
During my rest, I look around for a nice sizable log that I can smooth out into a quarterstaff because I don't have any of my regular weapons. They're all in the house.
Okay. They're all in the house, and you guys are tearing trees apart. So you find something you think is serviceable.
With the exception of a dagger that I always have in my boot.
Yeah. As you are exploring, you do see that while the forest extends to the east, it also seems to sort of hug the edge of the lake, going both south and north.
Okay, when I
But
get
that's
back,
about all you get.
when I get back to camp, I sign language that out in a way that they can mostly understand.
And you can probably draw in the snow as well.
Yeah. Like draw it out or whatever. Yep.
You're seeing almost no signs of human habitation, and there aren't a lot of signs of wildlife either.
During my shift at the end of it, before the next people wake up, I use my expert forgery talents, and I create a map
Oh, okay.
of what I've seen in the snow.
It's a very detailed map of 50, 60 feet from the fire. There are trees. Yep.
I was gonna ask, who was he paired with for his shift?
Well, who went first?
I was thinking I'd nominate myself.
Okay. So, I'm thinking it was probably Cicely and Dripper.
Because I wanted the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I would go with you because we're trying to build a relationship.
It's a bonding opportunity.
So are
Yes.
you, over the course of your rest, is Cicely doing anything as you guys are on watch? You're seeing the Birdman sort of dash off and dash back towards the fire.
I'd go 5-10 feet away from the fire, scope out, come back, go in each direction. I want to maintain any amount of wood that's near us to be ready to be tossed on the fire.
Okay. All right, and over the course of your watch, you do continue to feed the fire. You have taken down 2 or 3 trees in the nearby area. You think it'll probably last through the night, but you're not sure. As you guys finish your watch, what are Tia and Heels doing?
I am going to start like a fruit potage for breakfast because it'll need some time to simmer. I taste everything, like all the leaves in the area, all the little pine bits to see what would go well with what, because, well, that's my forte is food and growing it.
Give me a perception check as you're doing that. There isn't a whole lot that would be traditionally edible. You do manage to find a few fiddleheads on a couple of evergreen trees. But they taste like the bottom of a root cellar near the end of winter.
So really earthy.
Just old and maybe a little bit moldy. But you pulled this off a tree.
True. Hey, the moldy. I want to check to see if there's any medicinal properties with it.
The flavor is vaguely moldy. There isn't enough mold to do very much with, and the pine needles that you find are quite dry.
Well,
the other thing you notice over the course of your watch is there's no change in light level.
Huh.
You finish your watch, and you have made a fairly reasonable fruit porridge.
Compote, potage, something. Yeah.
Well, it's actually given the rough circumstances that you guys are in, it's fairly reasonable food. Who's taking the third watch?
I'll do that. Although I'm not very good at watching because I'm spending a lot of my watch scribbling furiously into a notebook and snapping to myself.
And it's this strange arrhythmic snapping. You don't feel that the lack of rhythm is intentional, though.
My snoring sounds like her snapping.
Which is vaguely disconcerting. Occasionally, there's some interesting beats that happen. So you are busy. At the end of your watch, you sort of look around. You can see the party sleeping quite restlessly. It's been about 12 hours at this point because you guys had to extend your sleep because of the poor conditions. And as you guys are all sort of groggily waking up, wondering why it's still the middle of the night, you see in the sky above you this wash of Aurora Borealis, just really intense. 5 or 6 of them flicker across the sky.
That's pretty.
Yeah. And that's it. All of your internal clocks are telling you that it should be, by this point, fairly early morning. The sun should be coming up. The birds should be singing. It is black as midnight. In fact, when you guys first showed up, there was a moon in the sky. There's no moon right now.
Anybody
It's
else
darker.
feel that this is unnatural?
Can I think of anything in my history knowledge that would pertain to this, or have I heard about anything like this before?
Roll a history check. So you're thinking, what do I know of that would cause night to last? You're fairly certain that is an effect that could be achieved with very powerful magic. But that's about all you got with that history check. And I think that on a nameless shore of a frozen lake in what seems to be endless night is where we're going to end. And then we will start next week with our cold open.
All right.
Cold open, yay!
Woohoo! That's fun.
All right.
Do we get any
originally... yes, you do. That is a good question. That fight was worth 60 experience.
Cool.
6-0. Originally, I was going to have 2 different fights, but then you guys ended up kind of in the same area, and I thought it might be better if you guys all went together.
Don't you love it when we ruin your plans?
I do. It's my favorite thing about D&D, actually. Interesting things happen that I hadn't planned, which makes it a better story, I think.
So I did some reading on the Kenku and how they communicate and stuff. So
Yeah.
It turns out that the longer that I spend with these people, I should be able to start forming sentences that they've said before. So so I'll end up sounding more like a bad GPS or something.
Yeah. Or like a speak and spell.
Yeah, like a speak and spell or whatever, but using it all in everybody else's voices.
See, if it was you and me, I would have started teaching you about directions and different tree names and different plants.
See, you can start talking like that and stuff like that, and then I can,
We've seen it done where someone literally has a notepad up beside them, and they start writing down as people say things. They write down what they say, so they have sentence chunks to go back to.
I was going to do that. And then effort. Holy shit,
But it is good for punchlines if someone says something that you think is quite quippy, that you write that down and then you bring it back 2 or 3 episodes later, right?
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna keep track of those.
Yeah. All right.
What is Orcrist's full name?
Alcarist Chiare di Fiamma.
Okay, all right. Because that's what I'm going to call you. Like, literally. Every time.
So before we go, could everybody go take a look at the Twitch stream? I'd like your feedback of, is it legible? Can you see it? Doesn't hurt to have a viewer count for a few minutes.
Twitch, dual cells.
And do you want me to send you the MP4s to upload to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. We could do that, and then we can have a look at how it went over the course of the
Yeah.
Session?
the broadcast.
Session?
So right
I
now,
need more cool backgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, Trish and I won't have cool backgrounds. Is that a thing that you can throw on?
It's
No,
a free
so
app.
you and I can do it free.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
you look above Carissa and Catherine's. You see the
The
VCam.
XSplit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's-
I can do that. I can have my character up there too.
I sent her a portrait of her character so she can add that.
Shrink it down a little, slide it to the side, and that way you get a pretty good view.
Yeah, the background editor is crucial. Otherwise, you'll have a crotch shot right beside your head.
Good to know.
One thing that I noticed is that if you have an animated image, it's not as it makes
crisp?
your camera not as crisp. Yeah. So it's almost best to always have a static image. Ooh, you get the plugin for D&D Beyond too.
Yeah. People who join the campaign, flip them all in there, so you can actually mouse over the characters in the stream. It's actually really easy to set up. There's a couple of clicks and pick the characters out of the campaign from my account, and boom, done.
So what do you need to add Akaris to the list?
She's there.
I'm just on the second page. You just have to click over.
Oh, there's okay. Instead of having a fifth person, there's a second page.
Yep.
Okay, I get it.
Oh, cool.
All right, if you maximize on my screen, if I maximize the Twitch window, I see all 5 on one tab.
Yes, I see
Yeah.
that now.
That is neat.
I did something wrong and I'll need your help later.
Okay. So that's what we have now. For example, if I turn off my camera,
Mhm.
in a moment or two, you'll see that the order of the photos change because in Discord it puts my non-video participant at the bottom of the list, so all the people with video images are there. So it's going to mess with the orientation of who's there. That's why I didn't put in our tokens above our portrait, because
Gotcha.
it'll change. Now, when I figure out what we can do to lock it down, so it's Phil, you're always in position A. We can put your token next to you, that sort of thing.
I have an idea for what my token should look like.
Let's work on
Do you
that.
remember?
then.
Do you remember the D&D cartoon back in the '80s? It could be that little guy.
Jeez, that's
I
a
was
stretch for
thinking
me.
You were thinking of who?
I put it in general.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Matt Mercer. Oh my gosh. I can do something like that if you're serious.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there a lot of the dungeon masters do some kind of dude wearing a robe.
Okay.
So
I like
you
it.
could do that where all you don't see the face at all. It's just a big sort of purple robe, orange shirt.
I
Holding a
almost
book.
thought you were going to say orange robe, purple shirt.
All right. So that was the beginning. What did you guys think?
That was fun.
It's going to be interesting to find out what the frick to do.
Should have
You're in
brought
a
more
forest.
wood.
You're in a
Who's looking
forest.
after my plants?
It's really cold. And go.
Yep. And you guys are, I think Steve and Spencer know 10 Towns fairly well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I read the books.
So from your knowledge of 10 Towns, if there's a forest, where are you?
Oh, I'm not that detailed in the books.
Yeah, not that detailed.
Okay.
Although if I load up Idle Champions, I know there's a map I could zoom in on it and
Yeah.
get an idea.
Exactly. I've got a couple of maps in Roll20 as well,
Oh, nice.
but I don't think I'm showing them to you until much later.
Awesome.
Oh, I know where we are. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here.
Well, we're one of two places.
Which two?
Red Waters or Brewman's Run, around there. Mayor Duan. Duan.
Yeah, because those are the only two real strands of trees.
What town were we in? What town did we start off in?
You
Grannis.
haven't. You may be close to a town, but
No,
you don't know.
we started in Granist. Or you
Oh,
guys started in Granist.
Oh, that was Grenist. Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is where we should all say thanks and good night, and then I'm gonna push stop on the record and stream.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you. Good night. I have been
Night.
Phil, your dungeon master.
See you next time.
Next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Exactly.